الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه وأزواجه أجمعين أما بعد. They spent between 35 to 60 million dollars to defeat Zohran Mamdani. 35 million at a minimum. The Jews and those people who on the Republican side and the Democrats and the independents who did not want a Muslim to run New York City. As for the Jews, it's obvious. They hear the word Muslim, who calls what's happening in Gaza a genocide, anti-Semitic, terrorist, and as Trump puts it, communist jihadist. Communist jihadist. A person who is an atheist, Jew, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist at the same time. Communist jihadists. Of course, that's not true. Zohran is not a communist. He's a socialist, and he's not a jihadist or anti-Semite, because as I would like to remind you all, the Arab nation, which is more than, like 20 times bigger than the Jewish people of today, maybe half of them not Israelites even, they are Semites. The Arabs are the largest Semite group of people today. Just as the Jews do not own the word Holocaust, it's the same thing. They don't own the word Semite. But this is their trick because of their endless enmity to Islam and Muslims. I spoke about Mamdani, Zohran Mamdani, in another video. And today, after he won the election in New York City, millions of Jews, millions of Christians, and millions of Jews who claim to be Israelites, maybe half of them or more are not, blacks, mostly Christian, white, mostly Italian and Christian, and hundreds of thousands of Muslims, maybe more than 1 million Muslims live in New York City, work, and pay taxes. So he won the election, 50.4%, which means a half of the population voted for him, and 40% of the population voted for the man who the apex and Christian billionaires and other people, and Republicans and the Democrats who are in denial gave him to win. But there is no doubt that they couldn't have chosen a worse choice. For 10 years, Cuomo was the governor of New York, participated in anything and everything that was not in the interest of Muslims, to say it mildly. I couldn't remember even one Islamic center or masjid that he visited. And a corrupt man, deeply corrupt. More so than Eric Adams, They're corrupt. These people are corrupt. Both Democrats used to be very, very, very corrupt. Don't forget the two words I mentioned before: bribery, blackmail. One or two of them at the same time. One or the other, or two of them at the same time. Bribery that's what they call campaign donations, like what they give to Cuomo. And he lost, wasted their money and time. Blackmail is when they find something on those politicians, and the politicians know, for example, what other people have on them, so they obey them, because once they are in power, they don't want to leave. And the money, they call it campaign donations, bribery, for sure. That is Cuomo, a very corrupt man, corrupt administration. He had to resign in shame after 13 different women accused him of sexual harassment. Now, he wasn't convicted in any court, and it seems that he paid a lot of money to them, to some of them, to shut up. He used, they say, 20 million, maybe more, of the taxpayers' money of New York to pay for his court expenses. Lawyers had to resign. So who is the best choice to run against the Muslim? Cuomo. 40%? Who are these people? Who are these people? I mean, devoid of honor? Completely? Nothing? Zero? No faith? This man is a crook, like in every aspect of the word. Look what he spent on his court expenses from taxpayers' money. They didn't vote for that. What he did to the elderly people during the COVID, and the women, and he's a thug. So 40% voting for him is horrible news. I expect that many of them are Jews. Of course, those who think they're Republican, many independents, many Democrats who don't want the Muslim. And these people all have one thing in common, at least: Cuomo. You vote for Cuomo, this is as good as voting for Trump. And he was going to be a servant for Trump and target Muslims and immigrants in New York City. So he lost. Now, the third guy with the silly hat, even Trump told him to lose that silly hat, red hat. What's his name? Sirwal, I think. The word goes with the hat. He doesn't have the kameez. He got about 8%. That man is a nothing. Like, there is nothing that he stands for. I'm surprised that he actually stands. But anyway, he will keep trying again and again. He did before. Lost much of what he ran for. 8% for that man, so they don't have to vote for the Muslim. Now, what about the Muslim? There is no Muslim. I haven't heard or met in my life any Muslim. He's a Muslim. He says he's a Muslim. But we don't take him as a Muslim without investigating if he's a Muslim and what kind of Muslim he is. I mentioned before, Islam is totally contradictory to communism, socialism, and capitalism. In Islam, we have the free market. The government does not intervene in the companies that produce things or any businesses. But there is a limit to how rich you can get, and that limit is every year less because of the zakah, which is 2.5% required from people who have the minimum in which zakah, the obligatory charity, is due. And when they die, the inheritors divide the money among them so that the wealth doesn't become a monopoly among the rich. This is distribution of wealth. Also, the Muslim government has the right to check the influence of rich people into government. It's in the Quran. The rich people, they give it to the rulers so that the rulers give them access to everything, the power. They already have the money to power. So it's the best, most successful type of economy, that is Islamic, allows people to be, to be inventors, to have businesses, to have employees, to have money, at the same time help the community itself to benefit from the economic activity, so they get something back, and the government is supposed to take care of them in so many ways, which lead me to one of the criticism about Mamdani. Those Republicans, conservatives, including Christians, they don't want to give money to anybody who's poor. Like, their whole game is to take money from the poor, give it to the rich. That's the whole game. And they don't want to spend from the government money on the people who pay the government the money. See, they forget, and the Democrats and the independents, I'm talking about Congress at a minimum, they forget it's the people's money, it's not their money. Never was, not it is now, never will be. It's not their money. They don't want to give the people the money, and the poor Republicans who keep voting for the same people who want to take the money from them, give it to rich people, even they didn't reach the level of insanity yet. They're way below. How you keep voting for the same people who are taking your money in your miserable life and give it to the rich people? As for the rich people, they keep pushing it. They don't care what the community, the society thinks about them. They live like pharaohs. And I can understand, if somebody has $1 billion, why do you want to have another billion? What are you going to do with the money? What? What are you going to do with the money? So this is total oppression found in the communist that takes all the money, give it to the few people who are in control of the government. The socialists who think they're half and half, and the capitalists who take the money from the poor, give it to the rich. And the rich have access to power, but they don't call this communism, which it is communism. All three systems, Islam is against all that. So Mamdani says he's a socialist. This is a key word, number one. Parts of what he calls to, it's the job of the government, whether the Republicans and those who vote for their enemy, the Republican, want to take their money and give it to the rich people, whether they like it or not. It's the job of the government. It's the people's money. It's not the money for the presidents and to spend, on $300 million worth a bowl. I always have trouble pronounce that word, bowl, B-O-W-L. To me, it sounds like ball, B-A-L-L. 300 million. Other people, they cut their food stamps. It's just a totally crazy way of system. So those people who vote for the Republicans, who take their money, they're like not even at the border line of insanity. It's way below that. Same thing for the Democrats. I told you before, if you have a coin with the picture of Trump or Biden on both sides, you flip it. If it was Trump, Trump. It was Biden, Biden. It's the same coin. The system is the same, doesn't change. And I'm thinking in my chair, it's the same system, it doesn't change. The presidents, they can change many things, some of them substantial. The system, in essence, remains the same. It is for the benefit of the very rich. Insurance companies, pharmaceutical companies, what else? Oil companies, and the people in power who take bribes for 1, 2, 3. Apex, the Jewish lobby, is very, 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 very poor compared to these oil companies. Any oil company is far richer, I mean the big ones, than Israel. And Israel is just a little shack. Like I told you, you have the West, very big Walmart store, so many stores. They gave the Jews a little shack there where they give them money, weapons, go use all that on the Muslims, Palestinians. The Jews are a creation of the West. Palestine, I've been saying for a very long time, is occupied by the West. Western Europe and America. So, in essence, the system doesn't change just because you have a new president. And the enmity to Islam and Muslims is endless. So he says he is a socialist. What are your plans? Somebody said that he wants to take all the production, means of production, and give it to the government. No. That's an aspect of communism, actually. And socialism that they're calling, he wants to give free buses for people, bring the rents down. How is this communism? Like asthma. I cleared my throat. Let me drink water. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. How is it communism to use the people's money to take care of the people? Free buses with added security, free trains with added security means people will go out safely a lot more and buy things. And when they buy things, the money goes to the rich people. No, we can't do that. That's not socialism. This is the just and fair way to deal with the people who give you the money. You don't take the money from the people and say, hey, I can't help you, it's communism. But it's not communism, I'm giving all the money to the rich people. That's not communism, that is communism too, clearly. To keep the money and power in certain group of people. That's it. So, he says he's a Muslim. Now, people were talking about his background, Shia or Sunni. He didn't talk about that. The background has a great effect on people. So, him being a Shia or Sunni, we'll discover. Maybe we will. Sharia law, Sharia law. How can someone who, if he's a Shia, has this kind of background with regards to the creed, whose wife is not wearing hijab, force people to wear hijab and niqab, as some crazy people said? Well, his wife is not wearing hijab, and he drags her with him everywhere. So he's not going to bring Sharia. He can't. Like, how can I spell it? He can't. Cannot. Cannot. He can not do it. He can't. It's not possible. There are millions of people who are Jewish, Christians, others who claim to be atheists, and you have a million Muslims. He can't do that. This is not possible for him, even if he wanted it. I don't think he even wants it. Wants it. Okay, I got it. So Sharia law, what is it? I haven't heard a good explanation for Sharia law from any of those people who keep saying Sharia law in Birmingham, New York is going to be. Shut up. Shut up. Talk about something else. But what can we say? This is the age of ignorance, insincerity, and sin that we live in. So he will not be able to force his socialist agenda on the people because the opposition is greater than him. He might succeed in some aspects here and there, and it's fine, it's good to take he has to take it's not up to him, take the taxes from people and spend it on the people who gave you the taxes, including buses, food stamps, health care. That is their right. It's not the right of the conservatives. I had another word coming, but I'm suppressing it for now. Conservatives who act like Christians, the Prince of Peace, give me your money, I'm going to give it to the rich people. Or the Democrats, give me your money, we are for the people, at the people, give me $1 billion, I'm going to have 1,000 programs to spend here and there and here and there. A part of the total picture is trans, LGBTQ plus, rainbow, drag queens, and whispering to children like the devil does, hey, I know you think you're a boy, you have the instruments of being a boy, your family told you you're a boy, at birth you were a boy, but hey, you're a girl, and we'll help you go to the girl's bathroom. And then go to a girl. I know you grew up as a girl. You look like a girl. You have the facilities of the girl. Facilities. Hey, you're a boy. And give them money and take the power from the family to raise their children as they see fit, on the culture that they belong to and the religion they want to teach their children to grow up to be in. That's what the Democrats, they want communism, atheism in practice using the government. It's a crazy situation. So Mamdani, some of the things he says are good. He may be able to succeed in some of them. People are started saying that he will succeed, he will not succeed. We don't know. He hasn't started yet. It's in January even. And these kinds of programs, they're okay. But there are keywords. He's not a practicing Muslim. The Muslims here in America are way more than the 3 million, the number that they kept saying about the Muslims for decades now. Like Muslims did not increase or decrease even. 3 million, 3 million, 3 million. At least 10 million. Everywhere we go, we find Muslims, Islamic centers and businesses. Centers and businesses. So we have about 10 million Muslims here. We have no voice in the government. I mean, practicing Muslims. They have no voice in the government, in the Congress, in the media, in the courts. And we have a lot less money than other communities, such as the Jews. let alone the unity, the organization. We have no voice in the government, all branches of government in the United States of America. And when there is a little voice, they send our way Ilhan Omar, Rashida Talib, I don't know. Every time I say there, somebody corrects me. Talib or Tulib, I don't know. I don't really know how to pronounce her word. The word that comes to me is Talib. Anyway, from which the word Taliban comes. Talib is the seeker of something. Taliban, they claim they're seeker of Islamic knowledge. Rashida Talib, they're progressive. So when the Muslims have a little hint of a name, presence in any part of the US government, it has to be progressive. Otherwise, the Democrats will not allow it. They don't want practicing Muslims. Same thing with Mamdani. So all these Muslims, we can't find somebody who's a reasonable Muslim with ideology of the Muslim, a reasonable Muslim with the ideology of a Muslim, Islamic way of behaving, practicing, ideas, ideology, creed. We can't. It has to be progressives. Progressives have an agenda that is contrary to Islam. Progressives have an agenda that is contrary to Islam. Look what about these three names I mentioned: Rashida, Ilhan, Zohran. A part of the Islamic way is honor. Islam rejects the L, G, B, T, Q, plus, and what comes after the plus. Completely. It's in Islam. You say you're a Muslim, this is what Islam is about. But these people are pushing this agenda and carrying the name Muslim. We reject that completely. These people do not represent Islam. Now Mamdani, if he has some kind of good advice, can correct many of these things. Forget about all this LGBTQ plus and the rainbow being gay, because it isn't. I've been looking at rainbow whenever I can see one, and I could tell it's not gay. Forget about this social agenda. It's not allowed in the religion. You say you're a Muslim, it's not allowed in the religion. Forget about it. And New York, they say, forget about it. I lived in New York a little bit. Concentrate on some things that are beneficial for the people and push for that. Learn the religion, stand with the religion, not against it. The ideology is the essence of any religion. Don't stand against the ideology of the religion. And, you can do a few things. We have 4 years. The opposition is so great, and the Jews are very powerful. The Italian community in New York is very powerful. And you have millions of black people to deal with, and you can help them, benefit them in so many ways, because they are a part of the oppressed segment in New York. And you can do a lot. But what's happening is that you're tying Islam to your ideology and your behavior. Now, the people who said this man is not going to do anything, you don't know that. We don't know that. We're hoping he's gonna do something good. Now he is gonna be the governor of New York. Let's hope he's gonna do something good, really, for the benefit of Muslims, in specific because they are the most oppressed community now. The Jews came before us into the world of oppression. Then we shared some of them. Now the Muslims are the most oppressed. To help the Muslims, do something. So we hope he can do that. His ideology, if he says he's a socialist, then that cancels a significant part of Islam. The LGBTQ, all that social, let me say, social agenda is against Islam. You pray, you say, sorry. You say you're a Muslim, you pray. Build on it. Let's build on it. Let's help build on it, because we can't change the outcome. So the person who says, he's Shia, is not going to do anything, whatever, you have no idea if that's going to happen. We don't know. And there are a million Muslims in New York. We hope for the best for them. But this man does not represent Islam. Okay? Now, as I said, good words he's saying, that he is a Muslim. Sorry. That he is a Muslim and that he belongs to the Muslim community. That's good. A segment of what he says, good. The plans here, some of them are good. So those who say, no, he's not going to do whatever. You mean you wanted Cuomo to become the mayor? That's not going to be good for Islam or Muslims in any way. If Mamdani is good 10% for Islam, Muslims, Cuomo is going to be 0, if not less. If not less. As an enemy of Islam, look what he's been saying about. He's tying Islam to terrorism, to anti-Semitism, to jihadism, to Hamas, and make it a whole pizza of a special kind. They throw all kinds of ingredients. So you have a pizza that has all kinds of stuff on it. You are a dishonorable man, and the kind of dishonor you have hasn't reached the level of dishonorable 1%, 2%. It's less. Look what he's saying. He was attacking Islam. He's a bigot. He's a pig. You want him to win over Mamdani? No. Mamdani is the lesser of the three. There were 4 evils. Eric Adams went out, and he might end up being the ambassador of the United States in Riyadh. I hope he takes the earrings out of his ear when he goes there. Ears. They became 3. That Sarwal guy with the silly hat, Cuomo, a thug, corrupt thug, and Mamdani, untested, inexperienced, which is good for him, because those experienced ones, they know how to rob the community of their rights and their money. It's corruption. So, people who say or look at it and don't think it would be different if Cuomo was elected, or the Sarwal guy. That's not gonna. You can't do that. Not all evil is the same. And the ideology Mamdani has, I hope that the Muslims in New York can reach him and tell him, concentrate on 2-3 programs that benefit the people and leave all that social stuff out. LGBTQ plus what? Make it minus. Go backward. Soon they're going to take all the alphabet. And he's not going to target Muslims. Do you hear me? He's not going to target Muslims with oppression, attack, like the others did, all of them. They're enemies of Islam. What they're saying shows the hatred in their heart against Islam and Muslims. See? And they are the most corrupt people, except for Sarwal. I don't know much about Sarwal, what his story is, but people are telling him, you cost Cuomo the election. Not true. even if all of the people who waited for the Sirwal voted for Cuomo, still he's going to be less than 50%. So don't tell me it's the same. No, it's not the same. I wouldn't compare the two. But what I'm saying here, the Muslims are naive enough to think that they have a voice now in New York because of this kind of an agenda Mamdani says he belongs to. Because we're not getting practicing Muslims. They throw at us, take this guy or nothing. Mamdani was fought against by the Democrats, the enemies of Islam and Muslims, the ones who, under their control, the slaughter in Gaza started, opposed by the Republicans, the enemies of Islam and Muslims, who started all these wars in this century, supported by the Democrats that killed over 1 million Muslims, and the independents who keep going from the coin, same picture. I'm tired of this picture. Let's flip it to be the other picture, or turn it around. Still get the same picture. And the Muslims have no power or unity. So, in summary, Zohran Mamdani, to be the mayor, it's less problematic for Muslims than that clear enemy of Islam, Cuomo, that thug, the Mafia. I don't think even all the Mafia voted for him. These are losers. There is, if somebody comes and says that it is the same, knowing that we only had 4 choices, came down to be 3, one of them no hope, we have 2, then the both are the same, I'll say you're a liar. It's not true. Mamdani is not going to attack the Muslims. He's not going to try to curtail Islamic rights or attack the masajid or the practicing Muslims. He's not going to do that. Because he says he belongs to that community, I doubt he will be doing that. For the other agenda, we reject it completely. We don't support it. As for Cuomo, a clear enemy of Islam. So why would you say that they're all the same? No, that's a lie. That's not true. At the same time, Muslims, they throw crumbs at us. We have no voice in the government in America. Do you hear me clearly? The Muslims in America, practicing Muslims, still do not have any voice in any branch of government in the United States of America. We are the target of oppression for the past 25 years, more than any other community in America. And even when we get a hint of some kind of Muslim, it has to be a progressive with a social agenda that is against Islam. So this is what I think the solution will be. We hope that Mamdani, he will be the mayor, unless they remove him or deport him to where? To the Senegal or something. He has a lot of power in New York. He has great opposition. There is a very good chance that a sizable community or a sizable number from the Jewish community voted for him, because also they're tired of the people, the Jews, especially in New York and other areas, who their support for the slaughter in Gaza made the Jews look really bad. And some of them, they reject that. They wanted to give this Muslim man a chance. Finally, what I just explained, maybe it's for you, between me and you and people who listen to us, why they opposed Mamdani. They don't know what we're talking about here, about Islam compared to capitalist system, communism, socialism, whatever, Shia, not Shia. They hear the key word, Muslim, and they're against. So their opposition to Mamdani is because he is a Muslim who says, I am a Muslim. Understand? To them, the struggle was against Islam and Muslims. Now, we know what Islam says about these issues I just mentioned here. They don't, and they don't care. So they opposed him because of him being a Muslim. You understand? Oh, pay attention. I lived in New York in the early 80s. Came back again. 3 times I lived in New York. And therefore, I have a very good idea about the struggles of the people there, especially the Muslims. And it's clear the American society is anti-Islam and Muslims for the large part. Things are changing. More than half of the Americans are against the genocide in Gaza. These are good things. Now, we have somebody who says he's a Muslim in New York. We only support the part of him that has to do with Islam. Other than that, we don't. I ask Allah to give us knowledge in the religion, make us among the righteous. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.